Hi, Amy with Fashion Toppings here with my weekly parking lot vlog. And this week I only have a couple things to talk about, so it's not going to be a very long vlog. Today, like I said, I'm in the parking lot as usual, but I'm in a different parking lot. It's so weird. I swear everybody's vlogging. I drove into my usual parking lots, you know, my usual shopping areas and stuff where I park, where there's usually never any cars, so I have privacy. And there are cars parked by themselves in every corner of the parking lot. And so as I'm driving by, I'm thinking, are they vlogging? Are they vlogging? Is there a camera? Like anybody who sits in a parking lot by themselves, hidden in a corner, is probably vlogging. That's what my my thoughts were. But so I finally found a spot. I'm actually behind a restaurant, but then all the deliveries started coming and they're looking at, they're all kind of give me dirty looks like I'm up to no good back here. But I just smile and wave and say, you know, hi. That's pulling in. So, oh well. Okay, so my topics this week. My biggest topic that it might be controversial. I hope I don't step on toes talking about this, but you know, all over YouTube and then all over the news too, and like even people sharing different stories on my personal Facebook page. I'm reading the feeds and some of the stories that are happening, videotapes that are happening, is all the violence in classrooms. Oh my God. You know, I didn't have that when I was teaching, and it wasn't really ever an issue in the classrooms at the school I taught at. But I do know schools have really changed since, you know, I was in school. They've even changed since I taught. Since I was a teacher. I have to give a lot of credit to the teachers who are sticking with it. The disrespect. And so I was watching these videos and I was like, amazed. And you know, I use that word a lot. Sometimes it's a drinking game, but I'm amazed at how these kids are getting away with it. You know, I'm watching kids bullying their teachers, kids beating up their teachers, shoving their teachers. Now that one school liaison officer or police officer, yeah, he should have been fired. He had no right to use physical force. There would have been other means to get that girl out of her desk, but she was also in the wrong because she should have been following the rules. So she's been asked several times to get up, get off her butt and get out of the classroom. Then she was the root cause of what happened to her, but that cop had no right to do what he did. And I don't want to go too much into that specific story because that was kind of controversial. But so as I'm going through Facebook, and then you know, once you've watched a video on something, then boom, it pops up a whole bunch of other similar stories just like it, and I got addicted. I started going through all of them, and I was just like, oh my, no, you know, I'm like, there's no way. I showed my husband, and my husband's like, that's not real. That has got to be staged. Kids do not do that in the classroom. And I'm like, yeah, they do. This is a real video. There was one poor teacher who's sitting in her desk, and these kids had a camera on her, and then they were throwing candy at the teacher, and then they were walking up and screaming at her, and she was just frozen in her desk. She was not gonna get mad, but she also, I could tell that she was scared. There was no protection for her in that classroom, and not one of those kids was gonna be up there to protect her. And all the kids, they started rolling around on the ground and wrestling, and then throwing the camera at her, and then, you know, taking her belongings, and then you know, like kindergarten kids, you know, where you try to hand it to them and you pull it back real quick, and they took her belongings, and oh my God, I just was mortified. I cannot believe that kids act like this in school. And I'm not saying all kids, but you know, I'm just saying that there are some kids that act like this and get away with it at school. I mean, you know, the one person that one person I watched, that was one of the videos, who had a response to the cop at the girl in the chair. Her name is Aunt Boo. I love this woman. I'm gonna link her video down below. Now her video, the audio and her mouth don't, the timing is off on the video, so that kind of drove me nuts a little bit. But she had great things, and I mean, she said it how it is. I mean, she might be a little but she says it how it is, and she holds nothing back. She gives her opinion, she gives her recommendation, and what she would do, and then how she handles it if that was her kids, and what parents are just as much as at fault of these kids acting like this in school as the kids. I do agree. You have to have discipline. Absolutely have to have discipline on your kids. If my kids know if they would ever act like that in school, yes, they'll be in trouble at school, but just wait till they get home, and then they're dealing with me. And you know, my kids know. I mean, if they pulled something like that, I'd be on it, and there would be, you know, definite discipline handled at home. And you know, some people discipline different than others. My kids are older. Mine are 15 and mine are 20. But even if you're living under my roof and you're 20 years old, then you still follow the rules just as if you were a 15-year-old. You know, there's rules that are in place for a reason, and you abide by the rules. And if you don't, then there will be consequences, and be consistent with those consequences. So I'm watching this, and last night I ended up that I went into YouTube after watching the videos that were on Facebook. I was just shocked at how many there were, how many. And you don't even see whether these kids get in trouble for what they were doing, bullying their teachers, disrespecting their teachers. And I was always raised that you respect elders and you respect authority. And I mean, I was scared when I was in school. I remember Mr. Keenan was one of our principals, and he had a paddle on his wall. And it was enough for us. I mean, and we were told, and you know, I don't know if they made the deal with parents or not, but rumors went around school, and these rumors stayed from grade to grade, so everybody knew them. The rumor is that Mr. Cannon had permission from every parent that if we misbehaved, we were allowed to be paddled according to the consequence. And he had the paddle. It looked like a fishing oar, or like when you row a boat with. It looked like the bottom of it, almost like a fraternity paddle. But he had that on his wall. So you knew that, you did not want to get sent to his office, because you did not want the embarrassment of being paddled and the pain of being paddled. And the funny thing is thinking back, I don't remember any of my friends ever saying that they've ever been paddled. So I don't know if it was just the rumor, or, the fear of thought, the storytelling, that type of thing that has gone on about these paddles. I don't know if that is if that's what kept all of us in line, but I knew I did not want to ever get sent to Mr. Cannon's office, because I did not want to get paddled, and I never did get sent to the office. So, I mean, they kind of put the fear of God in you. You got sent to his office, you probably were going to be paddled if you misbehaved to a certain extent. So everybody was basically, you might get in trouble for giggling or passing a note, that type of stuff, but you knew if you did something severe, your ass was getting paddled. And so, I mean, it was just that way. You feared your teachers. You loved your teachers too, but you I don't know how to say this. I know that when you went to school, part of it was, like for me, and my friends, you didn't want to disappoint your teacher either. So, you were respectful, you were nice, and when you got in trouble, you felt bad that you got in trouble. You were scared that your parents were going to know that you got in trouble. But then also you had that in the back of your head that that you disappointed your teacher, and you didn't want to disappoint your teacher. So I don't know if things are just how and when things changed. But my mom was a paralegal, and my aunt was a teacher. My uncle was a teacher. My uncle on my dad's side was a teacher. And so the thing is that, I was raised with teachers. And so I've always had high respect for teachers. And then I became a teacher. And, but it's just, I don't know when it changed that there's a little bit less respect when it comes to teachers. I know ever so often you hear teachers being called by their first names. Right there, that drops you from an authority figure to a friend figure when you start letting, students call you by your first name. That was one thing that I've noticed that happens a lot more often now. In with some of the students that that I've seen, and then also just hearing kids talk when they know the teacher's first name, they're obviously calling the teacher by the first name in the classroom. So that's kind of different. But so, you know, I'm kind of rambling on about this topic, but it consumed me yesterday. So that yesterday, after seeing this on Facebook and watching Aunt Boo, oh, and then Brenda Woods, she is our newscaster. I'm going to link a video that she did. Fabulous. She just summed it right up. You know, and so I'm going to link that down below. I'll try to find Aunt Boo's video. I'll link that down below because Aunt Boo, she's awesome. And Brenda has these little commentaries where she says it how it is, and she's fun to watch too. And she's our local newscaster. Then, so I decided to go over to YouTube and just type, you know, disrespect in schools. So I typed that in. You wouldn't believe how many kids videotape what happens in classrooms. And then, I don't know if any of these kids have ever been disciplined for what they did, but it's up on YouTube. I mean, there are a ton of videos. And, you know, and then there's the super nanny. She's on there, and her big thing was, now, you're in the timeout chair. And once you get done with the timeout chair, then you go to, or the consequences chair, then you go to the collect your thoughts chair. And then I mean, it was so nice. And I'm sitting there thinking, you know what? My mom, if I would have acted the way those kids did, and, you know, I love you, Mom, and you did it the right way, because I think I turned out pretty good. But, you know, my mom would have turned around instantly and swatted me on the ass if I ever acted like that, and it was enough to grab my attention. I remember sticking my tongue out at my grandfather when I was in a swimming pool, and I said something, and I thought I was being funny, but he came, you know, he saw it as me being very disrespectful. And when I got out of the pool, he made me get out of the pool, and then I remember walking past him, and he swatted me on the ass, and because he was mad. And, you know, I was just like, I never spoke to him in that kind of a tone ever again. It took once. And so I think I've only been spanked maybe 4 times in my entire life, not including my husband, but I'm kidding. But seriously, I've only been spanked like maybe 4 times my entire life as a child. And I remember each of them. And I remember that the behavior I had that went with it never happened again. And I'm not condoning all spanking. Everybody has their own discipline. I'm just saying that, you know, I don't know when things changed. When did this huge amount of disrespect for elderly, or disrespect for authority, or disrespect for, not even just elderly, just disrespect for, you know, adults ever when it started? You know, I know it's not like a switch went on and it just started happening. I know there's always been that, you know, disrespect for adults or authority, but it just seems like it's so much now. Okay, well, just like, you know, for instance, at our church, there was a bunch of kids outside our classroom, a bunch of little kids, no parents watching them. Or there was 2 parents that were there, but they weren't watching those kids because they weren't their kids, so it wasn't their problem how they saw it. And so, you know, I'm on the hospitality committee, so I was in the one room setting up the food, and then the classes were going on in the other classrooms. And I can hear these kids just screaming and high-pitched squeals, and they're playing up and down the halls and sliding on the banisters of the church. And I walked out there, and these 2 parents aren't even doing anything. These 2 ladies are holding their own kids, and they're just smiling, and then they're looking at these kids, and they're not their kids, so they did nothing about it. But the classes were going on, and so I walked out there, and I took control. I turned around, and I told the kids, I'm like, enough is enough. You guys know better. There's classes going on. Where are your parents? And they're just looking at me, and, you know, and they said sorry, and I'm like, okay. I said, well, there's classes going on, no more sliding up and down the banisters, and no more screaming. And there was one little teenage girl that was there, and I said, and I'm putting you in charge. Are you with these kids? And she goes, yeah. And I said, I'm putting you in charge. You make sure that they're quiet, and then you make sure that they're not doing anything they're going to be getting hurt, or that they're following the rules and being respectful for the people that are in the classrooms trying to learn in their Bible studies. And she said, yes, ma'am. And I appreciated when she responded with the yes, ma'am. So I knew that this little girl's gonna take it serious. And I told all the little kids, I said, you're listening to her, she's in charge. So I go back in the classroom, or into the hospitality room, and then I said, I hear squealing again. And so then I come out, and I said, now what did I just say? They're like, to be quiet. And I said, yes. And so I went back into the classroom, or into hospitality room. And then we're getting ready to leave because the classes were still going on, but we were done serving the food. And so we're getting ready to leave, and these kids start squealing again because they see me leaving. So they think that, oh, you know, free, you know, we're free. We can do whatever we want. She's leaving. The mean lady is leaving. And so they started screaming again and sliding up and down the banisters. And I walk back up, and the girl's like, they won't listen to me. And I turned around and I said, I told you boys, she's in charge. And so then I went to walk away. I was gonna head to my car, and I heard this little boy, he's probably about 6, 7 years old. This little boy goes, I don't have to listen to you because you're not my mother. Oh no, you didn't. I was like, oh no. Okay, so I turned around, I charged right back into that church, and I told him, I said, well, obviously your mother's not here watching you. Obviously you're not old enough to be out here by yourself. I said, so you can either go into the Bible study with your mother, you know, kids aren't supposed to be in there, I guess, but, you know, I was going to make him go in there. And I said, either you go in there with your mom and go into Bible study where she can watch you, or you're going to listen to this young lady right here who's in charge. I said, if your mother's not out here, this girl is going to set the rules. She's going to be in charge, as if, you know, she's doing the mom role right now. And you will do what she says. You will follow the rules, and I don't want to hear anything different. And this little boy's kind of looking at me like, you know, so confused as to why is this lady coming out and telling me what to do. And so obviously he doesn't get that very much, because the first thing came out of his mouth is, I don't have to listen to you. You're not my mother. And I was like, oh, no. Oh, I was just like, and that's in church. That was in church. So I truly believe that, you know, it's practice. Kids have to practice being respectful. And it needs to be on a regular basis. It's just a lot of spoutiness. And that kid was only 7 years old. And the fact that quick he can turn around and say, I don't have to listen to you. You're not my mother. He's obviously heard that before. You know, one of his siblings has said it or something. But, you know, the kids were left to run wild. So that is also, you know, it falls back on the parent. That parent was okay with being disrespectful to others. Because just the fact that you let young kids running wild up and down the hallways when other classes are happening. Other adults are there enjoying their Bible study and enjoying their food. And, you know, I don't know. It's just, this totally consumed me yesterday. That's all I can think about. I worry about my kids in school. You know, if my kids would ever try to act like that, it would just crush me. I mean, and I don't think my kids would do that just for the fact that my kids know better, and they've been, I want to believe that I've taught them better. I've been involved in every inch of their life, because I mean, my whole career has revolved around my kids and, you know, when they've needed me and that type of stuff. So I don't know. It's just a whole different world these days. Completely different world these days. And but I am going to link down Brenda Woods' video, and I'm going to try to find Aunt Boo's video and put that down below. But on the good news is my husband just sent me pictures, and I'm going to post the pictures. They broke ground. Hey, raise the roof, raise the house. Finally, they have broken ground on our house. And so the foundation is being dug today. And if they can get it done, they're putting the footings in tomorrow. It all depends on the rain. Down here in Georgia, we have just been getting bombarded with rain. Not as bad as some of the other places, but enough that it's affecting the whole building schedule and everything else. But I'm just so thankful we got the ground broken for the foundation, and hopefully we can get the footings in tomorrow because it's supposed to rain Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then next week we're hoping to have some dry days so that they can start pouring the cement. And then I'm going to take you guys out there. I'll take the camera out there and videotape a little bit so that you're able to actually see what the house is going to look like and where it's sitting and all that good stuff. So, but I'm really excited about that, and I'm trying to think. I know there's something else that I wanted to talk about, and of course I didn't make note. I don't think I made notes on this. This week has been crazy. I would show you my outfit of the day, except for the plumbers are all outside their van behind the restaurant here. No, nothing I had on here is my doggy daycare. Where my dog goes to daycare, but I didn't videotape that. I suppose I could do an outfit of the day. Plumbers aren't gonna care. I'm already the weird lady back in the corner behind a restaurant sitting in the parking lot. Okay, well, because what I'm wearing my, I got this thing at Cherokee Rose last year. It's my Free People grandpa sweater, and just a little white t-shirt, but I'm wearing the new jeggings that I told you about. I'm wearing the second pair, and I love the jeggings, and I'll show them to you. I filmed my haul, but I have two more outfits I have to take pictures of. And what I do is I take pictures on the day I wear them. And so I'm wearing one outfit tomorrow and one outfit on Friday. So I just have to take pictures of them so I get that posted. But the jeggings turned out really well. I'm really pleased, and I'm now a jeggings girl. I love wearing jeggings with anything that's gonna be long. A long shirt, anything when I'm not gonna be tucking a shirt in. Love the jeggings. They are so comfy. I'm gonna see whether or not I can show this outfit. What? Oh. I'm gonna see if I can show you this. Okay, so this is a sweater from Free People with a white t-shirt, and then the belt is from Cherokee Rose. It's Fossil. I get my little white tennies on from Target, and these are the jeggings. So that was my outfit of the day. I am extremely comfy. These jeggings, oh, I mean, go to Target and try out the jeggings. Oh, I know one of the big things that I this week. For me, it's so fun. I went to Target, speaking of Target, and I went and bought my son a whole bunch of sweaters and shirts from Target because I'm really like loving their clothes right now. And so when I was getting ready to leave, the lady, there's a lady that was working there, and I was leaving my register, and then she was at the next register, and she tapped at me, and she goes, "I just wanted to say hi, I watch your videos," or something like that. And it was so sweet. So I got my selfie taken with her real quick. But I just thought that was so sweet that she took the time to get my attention to say hi to me. I love meeting people who watch, you know, my channel. I just love meeting the people that watch my channel, being able to put a face with a name. I didn't even get her name because she was checking out, and her next customer standing there like, "What are you guys doing? Why are you doing a selfie when you're supposed to be working?" But she was such a sweetie. She was such a sweetie. So I want to say thank you. If she's watching today, I wanted to say thank you. I'm going to post a picture too of our selfie. But I want to say thanks for getting my attention and saying hi to me. That really made my day. And actually my son thought it was pretty cool. You know, it's kind of cool to have my 15-year-old with me, because, you know, 15-year-olds aren't really all that excited about hanging out with mom. So, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and bring this to an end because this is one whole heck of a lot of rambling. Okay, well, this is Amy with Fashion Toppings. Until next time, you have a great day. Bye-bye.